我是觉得他们是有所保留的，毕竟他们是去年冠军，而且他们本身队伍的实力是非常强劲。
那么之前也是经过了一系列的采访，都表示 Navi 战队可能玩一些中国战队所非
Alright,
常
I am
擅长的
back.
体系，
I'm not
不
dropping
一定
any
能够打。
frames, but the stream has dropped twice. Maybe 3 times, I don't know. At any rate, I think we should be good. I'm going to change the title to Navi versus DK. And this is good because this is probably the most interesting match I think that's going to get played today. Just in terms of teams, and probably the most even.
提到屠夫，我们是直办的。
那么像其他一系列的英雄，有没有研究或者说准备过？
像其他一些类的英雄，我们都有研究，并且我们都有应对的方法。
好的，那么也是感谢 RTK 的采访，希望你们能够在比赛中发挥出自己的应有实力，谢谢。
Okay, then, so there you have it. That's ROTK from DK. That was a tongue twister.
Was it?
No. But I just stalling.
We're
Because
going to look at the player booths in just a moment. I think at this point, maybe the game has started. No? Okay. Let's see what the Russian commentary is. Apparently nothing. It looks like both teams are in their booths. I like how they have the opposite orientation on the booths. Mildly interesting. He's gonna pudge them? I really hope they do. Oh no, I've made a grave mistake. Bam. And here we go, it's pregame. Marty, none of us like Toby because he's a filthy racist and not an American. Mostly because of the latter.
DK's turn to ban.
Is it correct? I think I ban him FK, can't cut out unban. Alright, I unbanned Fake King Raven. Looks like this is also being broadcasted by Icy and Draskell. Should be good to watch. Someone can link that stream if you'd like as well. I actually don't. I think that they may be doing the casting on the main channel.
Remaining.
Actually.
Navi's turn.
Surprisingly, DK has first pick, but
I would like to repeat it.
Navi has first pick, but they decide to ban out, or DK has first pick, but they decide to ban out the Naga, which is interesting. Also, a Pudge ban. Like, that is a respect ban if I've ever seen one. No one bans out Pudge. Ever. Not a common ban by any measure.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
But I'm going to take this one a bit more seriously than some of the other ones. I like Dendy's image, actually.
Reserve time.
All of these people just using whatever fucking image they want. Sometimes you see the highly professional, you know, like solid wall of EG logos or solid wall of complexity logos. But no, you have like a lucky star image for burning.
DK's turn.
Just all of this cool shit everywhere. ROTK, Dendy, obviously pretty big badasses. And they banned out the Rubik as well. I am interested in seeing if Navi is going to try to let Darkseer slip through, because that's a hero that Navi used to first ban a lot. But if they let it slip through, DK will probably pick it. We'll see.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Darkseer Enigma coming. And at this point, okay, they ban out Lycan. I was going to say that they're either going to choose between banning out Lycan or banning out Darkseer. And I think the Navi will ban the Darkseer. Yeah, they do. They end up deciding that they don't want to let DK get Darkseer, which is a smart decision. So a lot of the really, really fun heroes to watch have been taken out.
10 seconds remaining.
DK not exactly sure what they want to pick up first. Burning is a big fan of both
5
Anti-Mage
seconds
and Morphling.
remaining.
He also plays a pretty good Celebrate, but they usually only do that once Morphling is picked
Reserve time.
by the other team.
Chen.
And they pick up Chen first. That's kind of interesting, but nevertheless not
Navi's
that.
turn to pick.
Navi can do a lot of different things here. Obviously a lot of solid heroes on the board. Might look to do a Tidehunter, might look for something else, may look for a Morphling, may look for a Silbear. I would be surprised if they didn't pick up a Silbear somewhere in this
10
first pick.
seconds remaining.
But we'll see.
5 seconds
Navi seems to
remaining.
prefer Silbear over Morphling, whereas DK is the other way around. They may just be happy letting the other side get whatever they want.
Reserve time.
They're busting into the reserve time a little bit, which... Navi also big fans of Enigma, but I don't think that they'll first pick an Enigma. Really early on to be chipping in so far into your bonus time, but I'm sure that it's not a huge deal for them. Wow, okay, they've gone through almost all of their bonus time.
The sack.
And they decide to go for Leshrac, and what's the other hero that they go for? We'll see.
Navi's turn to pick.
Still only 20 seconds left. They went through almost all of their bonus time, actually.
Seconds.
Tidehunter.
And they go for Tide. Leshrac Tide, really, really solid.
DK's turn to pick.
I'm surprised that they didn't pick up a Silbear or a Morphling, but they will probably wait until DK picks up one or the other, I guess. DK may pick up Morphling here. They may pick up Invoker as well. A lot of the Chinese teams are really, really big fans of both of those heroes. Leshrac, Tidehunter, not surprising. Heroes that Navi likes a lot. I saw the Tidehunter coming, but Leshrac, I thought they might have waited on a little bit. But
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
this is where DK has to commit to whatever kind of strategy they want. Shen can fit into a lot of different things. Navi, such a competitive hero. There aren't really a lot of teams. It really comes down to the player. There aren't a lot of players on teams that play competitive level Pudges.
Reserve time.
And they pick up Venomancer Tinker. Now the Tinker pick is
Navi's
interesting.
turn to
Not
pick.
bad by any means. Tinker is a really, really solid hero. And he also deals with what Navi likes to do really well. He really, really stops you from just diving past the tower and killing all of your heroes and then getting the tower, which is what Navi is a really, really big fan of doing. When Navi goes for pushes, they kill the heroes and then they kill the buildings. That's pretty much how
Anti-mage.
Navi rolls.
DK's turn to ban.
That's actually a moderately surprising pick. They pick up the Animage, but more importantly, they pick up the Animage this early. I didn't expect to see a lot of Animage coming out of Navi in general. I also especially didn't expect them to pick it now. That awkward moment where you're trying to throw the cat out of the room while talking. But this is interesting. I don't know. I just don't see Animage get picked that much by Navi lately. He's obviously a hero that
10 seconds.
Habas
remaining.
really likes, but Navi in general just plays so
5
aggressively. Like
seconds remaining.
going for like a Battle Fury Animage is just something they usually don't do. They usually go for the Vanguard Animage, and that's just it's not as good as other heroes that you could do, I think. And they ban out the Puck again. That's a respect ban for
Navi's
Dendi.
turn to ban.
Puck is another hero that isn't really seen that often, and when he is seen, it's usually by Navi. I mean, every single time I've seen Puck in this tournament, it's been Navi.
DK's turn to ban.
Havast? It's Havorst. Pronounce it like a slum. Oh god. We'll see if DK eventually wants to pick up a Morphling, which has already been banned, so they obviously can't. Navi, pretty smart, realizes that that's one of those heroes that DK really, really likes. which removes, again, one of those harder carry elements. Anti-Mage against Morphling is a really, really, again, it's one of those things that you see a lot, the Anti-Mage against
10
Morphling.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
This is being picked. Yeah, Chaos Knight hasn't been picked in these last couple of games, that's definitely a good
Reserve
point.
time.
Busting into the reserve time for a ban. Somewhat surprising. And they end up banning out the Prophet. Now, Prophet made it this far, and this is exactly what I figured the Navi would do. They ban out the Syllabare now.
Windrunner
Because
at your
again, right
service.
now, the 3 primary carries that you
Navi's
see get
turn
picked
to pick.
are Anti-Mage, Syllabare, and Morphling. And all of a sudden, DK has to go with something they may not be as comfortable with in terms of carrying with against an Anti-Mage. There are some teams that have really stylistic carries that they like.
Queen of pain.
Some teams,
DK's turn
like,
to pick.
for example, that IG, they play a Luna, obviously, sometimes against a Morphling. Complexity really likes to carry Tiny. Now, a lot of teams have adapted to carry, a lot of the Chinese teams especially, have realized the importance of having someone who can play carry Tiny. But I don't think that DK has anyone who does carry Tiny. However, DK does sometimes play Void. They do also sometimes play a carry Queen of Pain, although Navi has already picked up Queen of Pain. So they have not that
10
many
seconds
options, I guess.
remaining.
But
5
I know that
seconds
DK Burning in
remaining.
particular does a lot of Void. I remember watching a game where he had a 14-minute Hand of Midas and Battle Fury, but still
Reserve
lost.
time.
He went for the Ags Refresher that game, and it didn't work
Luna.
out. And they pick up a Luna! What the fuck? Is this a thing now?
Navi's turn to pick.
Is this the secret of Asian Dota? Luna now top tier international pick? Okay. Fucking China, man. This is China. Chinese Dota. That's makes for more.
10 seconds remaining.
Well, this is a thing now. And they pick up a Broodmother as the last pick. I did not expect this at all, though, honestly. I thought it was just that one team that does the Luna. But this may be something... Luna's a very, very fast farmer. I like Luna a lot as a hero, but I've never seen her as being one of the stronger heroes. We'll see how Burning decides to build it. But this is really, really cool, too. Because right now, it's like... It really shakes the big 3 in terms of carries from their position of power. In the sense that Anti-Mage, Morphling, and Syllabare are just the heroes that you see picked every single game.
Prepare
I really
for
like
battle.
complexity and how they do Tiny. But... DK is doing the same item build that the Luna rather did last game. So let's either go for Tranquiliz or Aquila. All these Chinese flags, they just really stand out in terms of the color palette. Looks like they give wards to Habast. Now, as an Anti-Mage, he can place these to block the enemy camps really, really safely. And this is a very, very Light of Heaven build. Light of Heaven really likes to just start with a Poor Man's Shield and a Branch when he plays Brood. He almost always does this, in fact.
It was not Vost.
It was Puppy who
Puppy.
dropped.
Puppy. Puppy going to be handling our Tide. Anti-Mage going to be played by Havost. There's the guy.
That guy's excited as fuck. And I would imagine that Windrunner is probably going to be going for Basilius or Tranquilus herself. Fairly obvious. Again, still paused. Everyone is reconnected at this point. It'll most likely be Tinker mid, just based on the item build. Obviously, it'll be a jungle Chen. I'd imagine Chen will pick up a smoke. If he doesn't, I'll be somewhat surprised. Venomancer will be supporting. Luna will probably be in the tri lane, but we'll see. I'd imagine it would be a Venomancer, Chen, Luna tri-lane, which is a really strong tri-lane, and it's almost exactly what you saw the other game too. With the Venomancer lane with the Luna. Looks like they're going to go for a pretty aggressive tri-lane here as well. It's going to be Arsart going top on Leshrac with Puppey. Imagine Animage is going to join the party later. He just wants to get this ward down without being at risk of dying. This helps Light of Heaven out a lot. This ensures that Light of Heaven doesn't have a game where he gets completely shut down. And Light of Heaven's lane won't be that bad, I don't think. Unless the tri-lane decides to go there. He gives the other ward to Light of Heaven, just decides to back out. I imagine this is actually just going to be the Windrunner top. And that they're just coming with the Windrunner to try to fish for a first blood and ward. I'd be quite surprised if they didn't stick their tri-lane bottom on DK. But who knows? They may opt to do a very, very aggressive tri-lane. Puppey sees them, they don't see him. Daytime vision.
The battle begins.
Not quite able to catch Puppey.
I need another pair of legs.
Haha. Oh, Broodmother comments on how she doesn't need an invisibility rune. Oh, Dota. And no, it's actually going to be tri-lane on tri-lane. There's going to be some action happening. Ooh, Burning's caught in a really weird spot here. He's up against the wall. He can't go. He can't go anywhere. He's helpless. Our overlords, no. Oh, they send him back, though. Zippo's going to go really deep on Puppey. Puppey is going to get first blooded. Venomancer gets first blood. Leshrac gets a kill, not Habas. Habas doing some body blocking, so Zippo gets stunned up. And Zippo should maybe go down here. Oh, he's going to tango. And that is a double kill for Leshrac. It's a double kill, but a first blood. So it's actually a more even trade than you would think. However, that's a lot of experience on the Animage and not a lot on the Luna. This is a tri-lane on tri-lane, so... Also, bottom lane's a great lane for the Veno. And then Edict, oh man. Oh man, Burning, are you gonna die? Are you dead, Burning? This is a disaster! No, Burning, you got put the fuck down!
The scales balance.
This is absolutely a fucking disaster for DK right now. It went from being an okay trade that was slightly in favor of Navi to being terrible. As this happens, I'm sure that Light of Heaven is just having a fun time down here. Maybe not as fun as he would want, but not a bad lane by any means. Surprisingly, he decides not to kill all of the trees as he usually does. But this lane will get to be really good for Light of Heaven. Obviously, it's starting out as a hard lane, but once he gets a soaring, it's a couple of levels, all of a sudden, it's a good lane for Broodmother. In the first couple of levels, it's a nice lane for the Windrunner, but honestly, it shouldn't be this nice.
Double desolation.
At this point, obviously, DK's tri-lane has fucked up pretty badly. Most notably, they're the ones that are forcing the issue with the aggressive tri-lane. One of the hard things about doing an aggressive tri-lane is that your supports can't get farmed from the pull camps. However, that said, they have blocked this, they've blocked the yellow, and they've also blocked this. So they're forcing this into being a really, really high action tri-lane. This is where all of the kills are probably going to happen. The middle lane is Tinker against Queen of Pain, which is a surprisingly even matchup, albeit it's favored for the Queen of Pain. Wow, Queen of Pain is actually destroying this lane right now. But Leshrac, what he did there was he was standing to block this camp. This is a camp that Radiant can actually abuse more so than the Dire. Both teams can pull it. But right now, this jungle for the Dire is completely barren. It also shuts down Shen by doing, and this is a dead Venomancer, so it's really, really good for Animage. Once again, this tri-lane is a disaster because Animage's tri-lane has gotten 4 kills, whereas Luna's has gotten none. Or I guess 1, but he didn't get experience for it. So he's sitting at level 2, whereas Animage is sitting at level 4. That's really, really, really looking bad. Also, level 4 Leshrac is really, really annoying. But they're completely preventing Chen from getting anything. And Chen should just move altogether, and he is. Or is he just going to try to dominate a creep from the danger zone? We'll find out. And man, he goes deep to dominate this creep. He may find a Leshrac in the woods, which is not what he wants. He's being really, really aggressive here. Now the sentry that they placed to prevent the pull here has expired, but that's a sentry that they do explicitly for the reason of preventing Navi from abusing this pull early on. They can obviously pull that and then pull it into here. And are they going to go on DK Super? Oh no, he runs up to send DK Super back. Are they going to get him? No, they're not going to be able to kill him. Oh, almost! However, the dagger's just going to fly across the map. They'll keep on going. The stagger will hit. You can't disjoint it. It's going to keep going. Keep going. And it hits Super right before he TP's back. All of a sudden, Long DD's in a really weird spot, but he won't die here, I don't think. Here comes a boss. Right-click maybe a couple of times. That's funny. He comes back in the lane, but he's suffering from the dagger that got hit on him right as he TP'd.
While I'm around.
And Venomancer gets a kill up top. Highlander actually goes down. I'm surprised that happened. This is really what they need to happen right now. Because their tri-lane is failing so badly.
Absolutely
Burning
not.
has 9 last hits. Habas has 23. Light of Heaven forcing the Windrunner away. Like I said, it starts out a good matchup for the Windrunner, but just gets worse and worse, and I keep missing these kills. It looks like Venomancer gets put down top. So once again, Navi is getting the better end of these trades. However, in terms of levels, they're no longer massively ahead in that lane. But right now, this became a really, really hard lane for ROTK. Light of Heaven is in a great position. A lot of the last hits the Windrunner does have as well are on Spiderlings, which are not that high in terms of bounty. Experience is not substantial either way. It's slightly in favor of the Dire, but not by enough that they're just going to completely pull away. And this is almost all from the tri-lane. The gold is notable, however.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion.
But this is sort of the expected outcome of these lanes, except the tri-lane. The tri-lane is huge. That's why the experience is so slanted. But it'll slowly normalize as long as their tri-lane doesn't feed out kills. As long as their tri-lane doesn't feed out kills. As long as their tri-lane doesn't feed kills. As long as Burning doesn't feed kills. Oh man. Level 6 Habast. Destroying level 3 Burning. And again, Broodmother's just going to have a grand old time in this lane. He'll just spam ROTK out of the lane. ROTK has her Tranquils, but it won't be enough to keep her in lane for very long. Tranquils are a good temporary solution to Broodmother, but eventually Broodmother will win out on this, just by spamming you out of the lane. As you see, he'll do it one more time, and then Windrunner is going to be in a sad spot. As this happens, look like they're trying to set up a gank on mid. See Light of Heaven looking for the one more spam. Puppy. What's he going to do? I think he's going to do. Is he going to pull away creeps with his illusion? Man, would that be cute. One more spam coming out. And Dagger comes out, but they can't get the kill for Dendy. Dendy's still having a really, really good time in this middle lane, though. Tinker, not so much. However, Tinker's caught back up a little bit. Notably, though, Burning is absolutely fucked, and Habas is having a great time. Habas is well on his way to a Battle Fury. Burning has nothing. A little bit of a harassment laser. DK is super doing the skill build that we've seen. Oh, action happening on top, but I don't think they're going to get Habas at all. I mean, Habas has so much armor. He's maxed his blink. He's just so strong. But, that'll be where the action happens when it does happen. Except after they kill this guy. This is a dead Windrunner. There's nothing. Okay, Dendy. So much for you being the next to Opa. Whatever the fuck that means in Russian. Opa Dendy. Probably some sort of adjective. Dendi just blows his ult over nothing. Barely misses too, but I don't understand why he wanted to ult since he could have just used his Scream and gotten it anyways. He could have even Blink Screamed, it would have cost less mana. Up was like saying, yeah, you go. Wow, okay. And one thing worth noting too is that DK's tri-lane looks to push towers as well. They get the Basilius up on the Luna. They have the Venomancer wards, they have the Chen creeps, but they can't do it because they fucked up.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Light of Heaven's gonna get bottom tower before their tri-lane can get anything.
Denied.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Oh man, that was a good protection on that ward. Oh, Puppy gets it before he goes down though. That blind running to get the ward, that was pretty cute. But not going to save it.
Ooh, they never miss.
Notably, Navi has blocked the, they've blocked the Ancients so that they can't stack them for Tinker. Chen attempts to stack it, but it won't work. And as this happens, it looks like they're going to kill the Venomancer on top. Burning's going to get away, but Burning just not having a good time in this tri-lane. And this game is just looking more and more in Navi's favor as it goes on. They really have no answer to this Broodmother, who is just farming up the Storm down here. Windrunner's CS is inflated because she's power shot for spiders. If you look, she actually only has 200 gold per minute compared to Navi Light of Heaven's 428. So he's having a grand old time. Again, just getting more and more spiders. And Tenny looks for a kill top, he gets sighted. Just decides to throw out the dagger and then just fuck off. Arsart is doing that pull that we mentioned earlier. By we, I mean me. Gale coming out on Dendi, but Dendi is Dendi. He can just blink away. Really aggressive ward by Navi, though. Light of Heaven. Doing what a Broodmother does, just controlling space a little bit. Doesn't want to be this far down. So instead, says fuck it, I'm going to kill some neutrals. Tinker getting ever closer to this Boots of Travel. Now if you go for a Soul Ring Boots of Travel bottle, you can get the Boots of Travel around like 13 to 14 minutes, generally closer to 14. But since he's not getting the Soul Ring first, he's just going to get 12-minute travels, which is fairly standard. Is Chen level 6? No, Chen is still level 5, so Chen's having a kind of a hard time. Not nearly as hard a time, though, as Burning. Burning just cannot catch a break this game. Anywhere he goes. Like now, that's a level 9 Queen of Pain staring him down. He doesn't want any part of that. He has to look elsewhere. But in his forest, surprise, it's a Broodmother. Broodmother's going to kill the Invis if he wants to. Decides not to, though, since Dandy's right there. So Burning's spending a lot of time just not really farming.
Radiant's courier has been killed.
And that does not help at all. Dendi just ganked a courier. That's really, really bad. And you're already super poor. However, he might pay for it with his life. I don't think he will, though. He'll just walk away. But Burning's going to try to zap him. This is really, really good play by Burning, but not quite enough.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
Surprisingly, Windrunner going Tranquil Boot Soul Ring. Not ability you see all the time on Windrunner, but not unheard of by any means. You can definitely see the area of the map that Light of Heaven wants to occupy this game just based on his web placement. anytime he's in this lane, he's going to be very, very hard to kill. Also of note is that when a Broodmother does what Broodmother is doing this game, it creates a lot of space for your team to do so. And also, very, very importantly, it denies the enemies a lot of farm. It's essentially Broodmother free farming a lane, doing sort of the same thing that a Battle Fury hero does, just differently, in the sense that he farms the lane in the jungle, except he does it in the enemy forest, so it's just really, really effective for denying the enemies potential areas to farm. DD finally level 6. Could probably lose both of his things here. He ults just to save his creeps. Probably a complete and utter waste of his ultimate, but at this point he may as well, considering that he has no domain over his own jungle. I mean, I guess if there's a Broodmother in your forest and you can't get any farm, this is fine. But overall, I think Navi has just gotten the better end of the picks here. Light of Heaven already able to afford his Orchid and Treads and Poor Man's Shield and Soul Ring. 15 minutes in, he's very, very rich. And 15-minute Treads, Poor Man's Shield, Battle Fury up for Habast.
I go. Radiant's top tower is under
That's more money than he should have. Normally you can expect to get a 15-minute, maybe Brown Boots Battle Fury with the Poor Man's Shield, but no, Habast has it all. Ravages to save Habast. Habast is going to look to ult. Oh, he does, but not enough damage. Needs to blink away. Huge ultimate, though, from Dendi. That's really, really important. And Puppy should die here. Ooh, blink back in by Habast. Very, very daring.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
But it does make the difference. That's a triple kill for Denny. That's level 11 on Quaff as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
And Denny is going to be going for that Ags.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
That said, Denny did fuck up his skill build in $1 million tournament by getting another point into his dagger instead of his ultimate. But I guess he's just not used to getting all those levels at once for getting experience for 4 kills. Habas just rolling levels as well. Once again, Burning level 6. Crushing defeat so far for Burning. You're right. This is a good point. That yeah, I mean, he had the level 2 dagger a long time ago. That wasn't the fuck up that I thought I was, I guess. But chat brings up a very important point. You just don't see players do this a lot, where he maybe was trying to do this just because his ultimate was on cooldown and he knew he was going to get level 12 in a minute. Again, that's just not something that you see done every day. It requires a good presence of mind to do. So I will admit I was wrong. That said, I think that Navi is in a very commanding position this game. It's going to be hard for them to fuck this up, and I don't think that they will. Pretty much every single lane has gone well for Navi here. Their middle lane was favorable and won. Their tri-lane was favorable and won by a large margin. And their Broodmother bottom lane was favorable and won by a large margin as well. Just the picks this game are making this really hard. So, remove that Orchid and has farmed up 2,000 gold since buying it as well. That said, with all the space that Light of Heaven has created on this lane, his team really hasn't been able to get a tower on top lane or middle yet, but I'm sure that they could. They're just more interested in looking for kills right now. Really surprising that DK only has 999 pendants or whatever. And And this should be a dead boss? No, it's a
Dire's
boss.
top tower is under
Boss
attack.
plays Anti-Mage. Anti-Mage doesn't die. Who am I kidding? Enormous rotation for the Radiant, but I don't think they're going to be able to do anything to this Anti-Mage. He's well aware of what's coming. Has Battle Fury up a while ago. Already farmed up an Ultimate Orb. He is just rolling in money.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And look at this.
Dire's top
Everyone
tower
is
under
so
attack.
fucking poor on the Radiant. Whereas Dire has 2 heroes that are just absurdly farmed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ruh-oh, burning. Oh, burning.
Dire's top tower
Oh, he's
is
gonna
under
walk out?
attack.
Nah.
Radiant's bottom
Oh,
tower
Dendi.
is under attack.
Bit of a misplay there from Navi, actually. I don't think he had to die there at all. Boss ult didn't hit for that much at all. Is the boss gonna go down as well?
Radiant's
Ooh, no,
bottom
he's gonna
tower
barely
is
get
under
away.
attack.
They never.
Dire's top
That was actually a
tower
really
is
good
under-
fight for
Radiant's
DK.
bottom tower has-
Especially
Dire's
considering
top
that
tower has fallen.
even a relatively even fight is favorable at this point. That said, Habas not Habas, but Light of Heaven rather, nearly raxing on bottom. I assume Lestrak wasn't at that fight either. But taking out that tier 3 tower bottom is a big deal. But any kind of remotely even trade that they can get puts them in a desirable position at this point. Force Staff almost done on Windrunner. Alright, bro. Okay, so gem up on Venoman. So this is interesting because at this point, I'm not sure why he's going for the gem. I mean, obviously getting a gem on Venomancer is huge, but that said, it's just, I feel like they can't take a fight, so they can't really exert any kind of map control anyways. I guess he's probably just going to try to clear up wards that are near his base, but honestly, Navi doesn't really have that many wards up right now anyways. Yeah, letting the Broodmother slip through the banning phase was a pretty terrible choice. And Anti-Mage picks up another kill. I didn't expect that.
Yes, dearly.
I look like he just walked up and ulted Tinker. Slightly unexpected. But Tinker's mana pool enormous, and he's often very low mana. But this Light of Heaven Broodmother is ultimately what's winning the game. He's getting really close to a BKB as well. And this means spiders, there's constant pressure is going to come out on this Rax. Also the gem will be quite useful for dealing with all of these spiders. With the spiders attack in unison, slowly chipping away at the Rax. You know things are bad when you have to Lunar Beam a fucking Spiderling. Navi just putting more and more pressure on bottom.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
And as Light of Heaven creates all of this room to work with on the map, they just decide, hey, get Anti-Mage a Rosh. Anti-Mage getting so close to that Manta. I believe he'll have it now if he buys it.
Illusion.
And yeah, he purchases up that full Manta. And 22-minute Treads Manta Battle Fury. Huge, huge farm. He even has a Poor Man's Shield and a Magic Wand as well, so he is just rolling around in gold. Broodmother, after losing her whole brood, is just going to re-up it. Pretty damn smart. Chip away slowly at bottom racks, probably. And she delivers her completed BKB. So now everyone on Navi has like one more full item than they did for the last fight. Even Lesh getting close to what I assume is actually just going to be a BKB then an Ags, but she could also just, or he rather, could go straight for the Ags. It'll depend on what he feels like doing. Puppy is surprisingly poor, given the conditions of the game. Dandy with his Ags up as well. Not level 16 though. But Navi shouldn't really feel pressured to end this game at any time. They're ahead, and they can only extend their lead at this point, really. I mean, Luna's not going to be coming into this game at all. I really wanted to see the Luna pick work for them. I really did. I wanted to see what Luna would go, but I think it might have been like a kill a drum treads, just based on her current items, but now she's doing the peasant version, where she is absolutely shut down. Doesn't really have much of anything. And this is where Super gets destroyed.
So this is with
717 damage from enemy both. This is where they'll probably look to
Radiant's
9-11.
top tower has fallen.
As this happens, Light of Heaven on bottom. Light of Heaven gives no fucks. He could probably BKBing at the racks if he ults. He's deciding not to. Boss comes down, Denny comes down, the entire team is here now. This is what he was waiting for.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Maybe not going to be the best fight for Navi here, though. They do still have an Aegis. That's really, really big. Top blue are ult, so they might just back out now. We're going to leave Light of Heaven, let him brood mother them. Oh man, this Tinker has to just hate the Animage. Because of that. That Mana Void. So fucking annoying for Tinker, who's almost always going to be at super low mana. Everything about the Navi draft this game has panned out. And are they just going to focus the racks? I think they will. I think they'll just look for the racks here. Big Ravage from Hubby though. Oh, Habas points him with nothing. Luna's ult actually getting a lot of decent bounces there, but they don't get anyone from Navi. Navi can back up at any time, but they're going to continue to be aggressive.
Death travels faster than sound.
Boss having a real rough time with the Dark Award and Venom Awards. And DK just calls GG. They realize it's over. There's nothing they can do.
Think of it as candy.
Chinese, no fighting spirit, get one Rax with two outer towers up still. They just give up. But in all seriousness, I don't really see a way in which they would have won that game. Chinese Gamefly.
Navi takes game number 1.
Navi, in convincing fashion, in crowd-pleasing fashion, puts game 1 in the books. DK, the Legends, gonna look to force a game number 3. Be back with game 2 coming up next. Now to the analyst desk.
So then, if you want to know how to win here at the International in convincing fashion, you need to have some experience like Navi have. It's great to see a team that get a lead, don't necessarily need to slow it down, but just know where to poke, know where to go at their opponents, and Navi show how dangerous they are at a tournament, and now they're 1-0 up.
Yeah, they look very, very convincing there. I mean, they just sort of read DK very well. The draft worked well for them. They just seemed to outlane, win every single lane.
Alright, I'm back.
There was nothing really DK could do with how they set it up.
Yeah, I think this it goes back to the primary Brood problem, right? If you leave Brood alone, she's going to take your Raxus and base. And even Leshrac was down there because at this point they were already pretty fat on the top lane. But then they went to focus on the top lane and just gave that away. And then when they did focus on that, Anti-Mage is just free farming up top. I mean, it's not a good plan.
Yeah, I hate to ask Bruno, but what does your friend think?
He's happy.
That is
he
actually
told me something. You know how Navi is so hard to beat. So he set up a compilation of the heroes that you have to pick because Navi is not really good against them. So we have Luna, that didn't do too well, Sniper, Jakiro, Death Prophet, and Brewmaster. Those are the 5 heroes Navi doesn't do well against.
So
Sounds
DK
like
needs to
good
pick that
team.
exact team, right?
Well, yeah, that exact team.
Sounds like a fantastic
Yeah,
team.
surefire win. All right, yeah, what a great matchup. Sorry, what a great match. Navi, this is what everyone says about them. It didn't matter what happened in group stages with Navi. When they turn up to play on the day, they can beat everybody, and that's exactly what they've done in the game number 1. But of course, we'll be.
That's actually funny because those stats are probably just pulled from really small pools. Obviously, they made a joke about drafting all of the heroes on the same team, which would never happen. But oh wait, they're doing that one thing where they show one team fail massively.
It's Luna who sort of gets initiated on. Long DD, I think, manages to save him with that Holy Persuasion. But
again,
it
Luna just
goes
gets
down
caught out
very
completely
quickly,
zoned.
even with Luna being saved. And I mean, this was sort of the beginning of the end. Arsat landing some really well-placed split earths, and I mean, there's the Luna save. Chen still goes down, and from here on out, Leshrac double kill right off the bat. Our side, I think he was the deciding factor in this top lane.
Yeah, you give up a first blood, but then you give away 2 kills on the backside. I mean, yeah, Havos doesn't end up getting those last hits, but he gets that XP, he gets that assist gold. And I think this is really the biggest problem in the game for me. You have a tri-lane going against a tri-lane, and if you ever lose that, the game is going to be impossible.
And immediately after that, Luna TP's back to lane up being sent home and immediately dies. So it's actually a 3-1.
Also a huge deal too is that they gave the Leshrac that much experience in the tri-lane, which allows their supports to zone so much more aggressively. But we can check out the player cams. It's like Navi. Still not quite ready. This Navi turtleneck. And they're joining the game. DK is already all in. You can see based on this guy's monitor. We're just filling this. He's pretty used to reading the stats, pretty much. Hopefully the game will start soon. There may be a slight delay on this as well. The game may already be begun.
They have never played Huskar.
There you go. Pick Huskar game 2.
Pick Huskar.
Oh, Huskar,
That's
okay.
your insider information.
Yeah, if you pick Huskar.
I've been speaking to Burning. He's been developing this strategy around Huskar. And I think we may see it in game 2, especially with them losing that first game.
I'm calling shenanigans. I think that's complete crap because you don't speak Chinese and Burning doesn't speak English. So.
French.
Maybe when you talk to him, he just pretends he doesn't speak English.
Oh. That's a good point. I'm going to get Anderson on that. I'm going to bring Anderson.
You heard it here, guys. We're going to see some Huskar.
Anderson's been doing the interviews for us.
It would be funny because if some team actually brought out Huskar.
The most boss guy, by the way.
Yeah, I think he was wearing a suit. He's really put us to shame.
He's pretty.
It'd become a thing. Like, you know you're going to see Lunas a lot more in pubs ever since this has happened. But that said, I actually think that Huskar deals reasonably well with Syllabear, especially, and Animage, but obviously against Morphling it's not that great either way. And I think it's highly unlikely you'll actually see Huskar get picked. None of the teams have the balls to run it.
Is very important as well. I mean, they got caught by surprise by the last big brood. I wouldn't be surprised if I see it banned off here, or possibly at least banned off in the second stage. If it's picked up in the first stage, you can come up with some kind of counter, but when it's picked up that late in the draft, they had nothing to do with it.
Bruno, anything you can give us some inside intel?
Yeah,
well,
Bruno.
Statman on DK?
There's one thing that DK did well in the first game, was first ban Pudge. Navi is 10-0 with Pudge. Every single time Dandy plays, he wins. So at least they have their priorities straight. Next step, win the game.
You make it sound so simple.
This guy's like the best captain. He's just wins,
yeah.
whatever.
So let's talk about Navi. Obviously, just winning the first match. That's great.
And the pregame has begun, so we're going to watch this.
We all
Enough of that banter. Uh-oh, my camera has Parkinson's. Please no. They hate that guy in the end? I think so.
Navi's turn to ban.
Okay. So fairly standard.
Navi's turn to ban.
Navi has first pick, so Dire's forced to ban out Naga. They ban Pudge again. It's somewhat surprising. They really, really apparently don't want to play against Pudge on Dendy. But still. Alright, ones if you guys want me to call FKR on Skype, twos if not. Ones if you do, twos if you don't.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Overwhelmingly twos.
DK's turn to ban.
Okay. So we won't. And again, these are pretty much the same bans that we saw last game, more or less, with teams banning out Invoker, Rubik. Well, Navi has always been taking the initiative and banning out the Invoker and the Rubik, but they banned out the Chen this time.
Ten seconds remaining.
And they ban out Darkseer, which leaves Lycan up, so Navi gets a Lycan. Now, I haven't seen a Navi game where they get Lycan, actually. But they had to make that call between banning out Darkseer or Lycan. They decide to ban out the Darkseer, they leave Lycan up. Now, maybe they have something in mind for dealing with Lycan. But so far, this is looking like the draft is going to be a little bit better for Navi, maybe just entirely based on Lycan. We're going to have to assume that both teams have developed strategies to deal with Lycan, though. Just because this is the International, and Lycan has slipped through a couple of times.
5 seconds remaining.
Counter Jungle Bounty Hunter.
Reserve time.
Who knows? Anything is possible, I guess. Hopefully not that, though. And DK, right now, not sure what they want to do. Nature's Prophet is up. They picked the Prophet, and they picked the Windrunner. Picking the Windrunner this early, maybe not completely necessary, but they decided to go for it anyways. Maybe they don't want to let Light of Heaven have either of those heroes. Could be a thing, but the Nature's Prophet pick, really, really standard. If he makes it this far, picking it up, always smart. However, the Windrunner pick this early, again, is... It's not bad by any means, but there are other really, really great heroes that are still in the pool. Especially heroes that Navi likes, such as Tidehunter. Looks like Navi's going to get the Leshrac. Maybe they'll go Tide as well.
Turn to pick.
Navi, quite a fan of picking up Leshrac and Tide if they ever get the chance. They like those really, really big team fight heroes.
Reserve time.
And they pick up Sanking, so they get the SK Lesh combo. Also something that Navi really, really likes to do. DK, not too sure what they want to go with here. And they pick up the Morphling, so again, Morphling finding his way into almost every single match, at least getting picked or banned. DK decides, fuck it, Luna didn't work for us, let's go back. Pick up Morphling, Burning, big, big, big Morphling player. Second banning phase has gone in. They decide to ban out the Tidehunter themselves. Quite possibly because they don't want to draft it. They already have their SK and their Lesh and their Lycan.
Navi's turn to ban.
DK doesn't want to let Broodmother go through. If they leave a Broodmother up, they might have the situation that they have last game where suddenly, last big Broodmother, oh shit, what the fuck, what do we do? I honestly don't think that they'll pick Syllabear when they have a Lycan, but they could. But right now I would suspect that they're going to pick... well, actually, Navi might lane Lycan in a number of ways. One thing that a lot of people liked about Lycan a long time ago was that you could lane him a number of ways. Like, you could safe lane him, you could tri lane him, you could jungle him, you could do anything, really. And the last ban is up for DK. Looks like they're not too sure about what they want to do.
Ten seconds remaining.
Still some interesting heroes in the pool. Both teams like their Queen of Pains, and both teams like their Tinkers. So we'll see if any of those end up making it through towards the last picks. I would suspect that those would be heroes that Navi would look to draft. more so than DK. And DK burning through almost all of their bonus time on the last ban, and they ban out the Beastmaster, which
Navi's turn
was a
to
potential pick for Navi, but maybe not what they would have went for. And Navi picks up Enigma. Again, another hero that Navi really likes to run. Navi really likes those huge teamfight lineups. And this is exactly what they have now between Enigma, Sand King, and Leshrac. Probably look to jungle the Enigma, or offlane the Enigma. But we'll see. We'll see. Again, Lycan doesn't have to be jungled. It's like a lot of Lycan pickers in public games don't realize, but...
Earthshaker here.
And an Earthshaker picked up, actually, by DK. Earthshaker's fallen off in popularity a little bit, but the Chinese teams still pick him up every now and then when Sand King is gone. He's also a great tri-laning hero if you decide to go that route. In fact, he makes for some of the best offensive tri-lanes in the entire game.
DK's turn to pick.
And Navi picks up Puck. Again, another really huge Navi hero. Now, Puck is a hero that DK opted to ban out last time, but right now, Navi's teamfight is just looking fucking enormous. And the best part is that they don't really even need Lycan in these fights early on, which is exactly what Navi likes to do. They would just have the Lycan probably split push, and they could win group fights with Leshrac, Sand King, and Puck alone.
10 seconds remaining.
And so far, I'm liking the Navi draft a lot more than I'm liking the DK draft.
5 seconds remaining.
That said, when BKBs come out, things will get kind of awkward, but it's going to be a while before Windrunner, Prophet can farm BKBs, and Morphling can get a really well-timed BKB, but it won't be enough. And a Pugna pickup, oh man, that is a very interesting pickup, actually. You almost never see Pugna get picked, and it looks like we have a Parkinson's camp. And let's see if I go free camera. Okay, I've released it. And it's Puppy on the Lycan, so they probably will jungle him.
Battle.
Oh boy, these are definitely jungle items. 5 fucking clarities, Jesus Puppy. Sending the wolves out to spot for enemies roaming around his forest. Long DD on the Nature's Prophet. He could offlane it, but he could also jungle. We'll see what he decides to do. Winner looks like she's picked up long lane items. Pugna may go for support items. Morphling, this time using a different skin. But who gives a shit about any of these skins? And it looks like they've pooled supplies on the Morphling. This is something that's been very popular throughout the tournament, is a supply pooling for your Morphling. Where the Morphling starts with the Wraith Band, and then a salve, or some branches, depending on how much money you want to pool. And then you buy him tangos. It's been extremely popular throughout the tournament. It lets the Morphling win matchups decisively that he wouldn't normally win. And it's going to be a Light of Heaven offlane on the Enigma, which is not that uncommon, rather. It's actually really good too. It has some of the same strengths that having a Wisp, or not a Wisp, but rather a Lich does. But it's just, in my opinion, slightly better. You can still deny creeps to prevent the Morphling from getting absolute free farm. You limit the number of farm that he can potentially get. And it looks like Zippo is going to use his invisibility to just fuck with the Lycan a little bit. Eventually he places down a sentry to block the yellow camp. But he's going to get gnawed on by wolves a little bit. Look at this micro, that's really good for zoning. Places down another ward. But he takes a lot of damage over this if Lycan decides he wants to actually attack. He's going to try to block... Oh my god, is he going to block him in? Oh, he bought so much time though. He was just trying to block his hero a little bit so that they could try to drop an edict on him. He almost got a surround too. That was really good micro on the wolves.
Radiant's bottom tower.
But this SK Lushland is very scary for Windrunner. It's going to mean that SK will probably get a lot of farm. It's a boss playing the SK, so he's going to take farm priority over the Leshrac just based on who's playing it. This is also how I like to do some of the SK Lesh lanes. Not going to get any of the last hits though for the first wave. Not a good start, but it's one. And it's Light of Heaven up against Burning too. And this is not actually an awful matchup for the Enigma, but just the fact that the Enigma is in the hard lane and Morphling is in the easy lane makes it a lot nicer for the Morphling. Also, the presence of a Nature's Prophet changes everything. Leshrac gets first blood, but Nature's Prophet actually returns the kill.
Pull roots and run.
He's actually going to fight this. And he can't get Arzart. Or can they? Oh, barely fucks the power shot and he dies for it, I think. Oh no, Puppy's going to go down. Wow, that was a really, really, really big trade. But it ended up working out. Again, it's a trade of first blood for a double kill. But this actually works out in favor of DK, because the double kill experience is really, really nice. Also, Prophet, his presence in that gank was very, very big. He ends up getting a kill, but experience for 2 kills.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Illusion!
Oops. Also, Windrunner gets her brown boots from that too, which lets her be a lot more aggressive here. And this takes a lane that used to be like a free farm lane for the SK Lesh, and look at how aggressive this Windrunner can be. A boss can't actually last hit without his Leshrac here. I mean, he can, but then this happens, and he gets really sad. He just lost half of his HP. Suddenly, Navi is finding themselves on the receiving end of what they had last game. That said, though, Navi has a lot more potential to bring it back, just because their teamfight lineup is so fucking good. Dendy just evading the Pugnablast once again. So you can try to get aggressive on Windrunner. Windrunner doesn't have a salve, she just has more tangos.
No.
Oh, are they going to go on her? No, they're not going to go on her. However, Sanking does have his brown boots, so he can keep pace with Windrunner rather well. That said, this lane didn't play out like it was supposed to, obviously. The Windrunner isn't supposed to get nearly as much farm as the SK in this lane. And, SK is supposed to get his brown boots before Windrunner, which lets him play really, really aggressively. But that didn't happen, and now they're going to suffer for it. We got IX Mike over here on the Earthshaker. Gonna fight for the rune. Punching a bear. It takes a real man to punch, or a wolf rather. A real man to punch a wolf. TP in. Nature's Prophet, but they're not going to do it. Nature's Prophet actually ends up canceling his TP.
Denied.
These China flags are also noticeable, I guess. And that was a really, really good pick from AA. Actually, landing that stun was kind of difficult to do, but he ends up doing it. And the Chinese players can't use ping as an excuse, and this helps bring the lane back in their favor. There's no, oh, it's the Chinese, they have bad internet, etc. No, they're all playing from Seattle right now. Morphling is ludicrously farmed. I wonder what he's going for this game, actually. He has something. Looks like brown boots. Oh, man. Light of Heaven actually getting a reasonable amount of experience, but more importantly, he's denying so much farm for the Morphling. Again, in just the same way that a Lich would. There's so much potential farm the Morphling could be getting in a free farm lane, but he's not able to get much of it. Also, this warding has really fucked with the Lycan. You got a magic push ward down now, so when this camp gets killed, it won't respawn. This camp won't respawn either. But Puppy on Lycan still getting a lot of gold. That said, Long DD also getting a lot of gold. We'll be going for that Midas as well. Oh, look, it's 18 denies from just by the fact he picked Enigma, really. Burning's going to get a little bit creative here. He's going to do this pull. This is a good pull for both heroes here, but Morphling's doing this just so he can
Radiant's middle
mess a little
tower
bit
is
with the
under
Enigma.
attack.
Puppy cuts a tree, discovers there is nothing here. A little bit of bottle crowing going on for Dendi. Pugna in the mid lane, I think, is a lot stronger than a Puck. That's been shown this game. Ultimate coming out from Long DD, just quoting the map a little bit, wants to get that Midas. He's going to get a really early Midas too. Usually you won't get the Midas before like 9 minutes, but he's going to get one really early. And this is going to be a dead Windrunner. I don't think there's any way that you can get saved here, especially not without a mana. Oh my gosh, a beautiful Edict split from Earthshaker! That was amazing, actually. I didn't think that there was any way that Windrunner could live here. But Earthshaker tanking up just a little bit of damage there and managing to not die because of it. That was really, really great. I like Pugna's skill, but he's opting to not get his ultimate. It's really needed. Light of Heaven should go down here, though. Fuck, buddy.
Radiant's top
Alright, now
tower
he's gonna
is
wait
under
for him to
attack.
get the kill. I don't know why he used the replica though. Not really necessary. They're gonna try to get a tower out of this? They may be able to with Pugna. Pugna's blast obviously deals damage to towers, so. Tower is kind of low as well. Pugna just chipping away at it a little bit. Also have noticed the Dyer's been able to protect their bottom tower fairly well with the combination of Windrunner and Earthshaker. Makes it pretty hard to push. Ooh, Dendi with the invis. Puppy coming up as well. Puppy notably also going for that medallion really early.
Top tower has
Instead of the
fallen.
Vlads. And suddenly Burning's gonna find himself in a weird spot. Oh boy. Puck just absolutely erasing Burning and then just TPing away. That has to suck. Burning never saw that one coming. Suddenly invisible Puck.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
ROTK finishes his Arcane Boots. This means he'll be going for most likely a Mechanism. And Long DD with about 1,000 more gold than he should have at this point in the game. So he's looking really, really good so far. On his way to quoting himself. To a great position. Now Dendi is probably going to be going for the treads. He's just building treads at the Robe of the Magi. Once again, he can build treads with any of the +6 stat components. No need to get the Belt of Strength.
You didn't need that.
Super hanging really far back here. Definitely doesn't want to get killed. Navi with a very aggressive ward. Navi is going to look to play this, apparently, really aggressively.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Boss level 7. Not with really any items, though. Especially considering that boss usually plays carry and tries to get a lot of farm. This is kind of surprising.
Are fortified.
But this game, Puppy is going to be put onto a more carry-oriented role than the Lycan. Generally, the player. And ooh, is he? Oh man, he barely gets the Burrow Strike off, but manages to make it out. As this happens, Windrunner are getting absolutely destroyed. But oh, that illusionary orb must have been quite scary. Dendi taking a lot of damage to do it. Oh no! He gets killed by Rosh! Oh, what the fuck, Dendi? You were supposed to be... You're supposed to be the chosen one.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Navi won the last one.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Man, that's gotta be embarrassing. Illusory? Isn't it illusionary? Illusory? Holy shit, I always thought it was an illusionary orb. I guess it's illusory. What the fuck? I have made that mistake for so long. I genuinely thought it was illusionary. Because Puck is he's a magician. Okay then. Noted. One thing the Lycan does quite well with his invisible wolves is just kill the Pugnoward. Dendy going really fucking deep. Probably mad that Rosh. Oh my gosh, huge Pearl! Huge Epi too! And a big black hole all over Burning. Kills everyone. That was enormous. I don't know if the black hole was entirely necessary, but I get the feeling Morphling would have gotten away had they not done that. Dendy's gonna go really, really deep though. That's huge for Navi. He still says Havas instead of Havorst. Okay. You win, Cyclone Eddie. It looks like, so far, Xbox over here on the Sand King still doesn't have his Arcanes. We'll see if Xbox looks to farm those. He usually plays a carry role. This game not really going to. Power Shot to create a hidden passageway. Morphling is actually morphed up pretty highly right now. He has a lot of HP given the game. He's not having the game of his life though. If you look at the farm, he's not in the position that he usually likes to be in, where he's just completely free-farmed. Looks like Xbox could actually afford an Arcanes. He may look to get an earlier Blink, but looks like instead he's just going to be looking to die.
I felt that.
Puppy decides to ult so he can run back to the well a little bit faster, I assume. Burning farming up this lane, but he's getting quoted. Decides, hey, fuck you, Furion. Surges up. They're going to put some damage in the tower. I don't know if they can actually get it here. I don't think they can. If anyone TPs to defend this, they'll defend it, but I guess they're just going to let it fall. Notably, Navi with the Lycan, not able to Lycan any towers. Pugna taking the tower kill. They didn't put up a defense, they didn't look for a trade either. They're down towers with the Lycan. And Long DD just going right back into the jungle to farm.
Uproot you.
Let it have him damaging top tower a little bit, but it's not really going to matter. It looks like he's going to go for the super early BKB. I rarely ever see anyone rush for the BKB before a mech or anything, but I guess this is what he wants to do this game. I'll look for that really big wombo combo early on.
Dire's top tower is under
Navi's going to try to get their first tower with Leshrac Lycan.
Radiant's middle tower is
They do it. I'm proud of you, Navi. And a lot of times, actually going to have a really well-timed BKB2 this game. We'll see if they opt to defend. Arsar dropping the big level 1 Lightning Storm. Doing a whole 60 damage to everything around.
Radiant structures are fortified. Dire's top tower is under attack.
And they're not going to lose this. At least not for now. Lycan does TP back with no mana. His medallion pumps up the last hit. Lycan really not farming up a storm at all. However, that said, all of Navi's heroes are getting a reasonable amount of money. None of them are super poor, which is... Navi spreads the gold out a lot, whereas a lot of the Chinese teams like to just get their farm on like 1 or 2 heroes.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Everyone on Navi is moderately farmed. And they'll be well farmed if they can get towers. However, Prophet going the quota Prophet route, going for that Midas treads Ags. Oh, nice spaceship from Dendy. Almost makes up for when Rosh killed him. Quota Prophet comes back towards bottom lane. That's going to get a couple more farms up. That huge sandstorm just eliminating everything. No points into his caustic finale though. He can't actually kill all of those. Also notable is that the Treants have a lot of magic resistance too, so the Sandstorm doesn't do as much. Wide of Heavy getting closer and closer to that BKB if he does want to go there. He may opt to just pick up a Blink Dagger, but I don't think he will. Now with an Earthshaker in play, Earthshaker can really fuck up your ultimates as Enigma. However, Habast is super close to his Blink. He's just going to try to farm it up with the Sandstorm. About 200 gold away. But DK pressuring middle lane a lot. I think they're going to go for this too. I see no reason why they wouldn't. Burning is still going for that F blade, but it's going to be super late. Puck level 10, not quite level 11, whereas Ultimate will get a good amount better. Since you can just break the stun at level 1 and you won't suffer that much. Whereas level 2, you're just better off waiting it out most of the time. And Xbox still just 50 gold from that blink. That has to really hurt being this close yet so far. And Boss does have his Blink Dagger coming out. Oh, I'm sorry, Xbox, rather. Long DD still just getting a little bit closer to the axe with every passing moment. Is he going to stack this? No, he doesn't want to stack it. He just wants to farm it. It's like all of Dire is going to get really aggressive here. Burning's still leading in last hits, but really still not like he's not farming up that well, despite leading in last hits right now. Then he probably really wants this level 11. He's gonna wait to see if anyone tries to farm it, and he probably will just go for last hits. This should be Denny's Blink Dagger as well. He buys it at the base instead of the side shop. And then he sells it at the base and then rebuys it at the side shop himself. And as this happens, there's a big fight going down mid. Looks like Morphling actually gets picked out by Navi. That's the power of the Blink Dagger. They didn't reveal it. And it looks like Enigma just finishes an entire mech. So I thought it was going to be going for the early BKB. I usually almost never see Enigmas pick up like an Ogre Club and then go for the mech. Just because the mech has 5 to all attributes and armor, whereas the Ogre Club is just 10 strength. So it's just 5 more strength than the Ogre Club, but not a bad call, I guess. I don't know.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And mech up on Pugna, he's had it for a while though. Almost has his force up in there, so Boss! Surprise! Oh man. Light of Heaven looking for the hole. Doesn't have mana though, he fucking mechs, he doesn't have mana! Oh, you fucked up, Light of Heaven, you fucked up big. It's $1 million on the line, son. Shit together. And opting to max his lightning on Lesh. Interesting. But yeah, that ulti was really, really hard to get for Xbox. Because Xbox had to be just out of the range of the Pugna ward, but still in range of being able to Blink Dagger and Burrow Strike in. So that was really, really hard for him to do correctly, but he made the play perfectly. Leveling Enigma ult is fine. It actually does a good amount of damage. Pretty much everyone levels Enigma's ult. The mana cost that you get is completely outweighed by the cooldown reduction. People mostly do it for the CDR on it. But also the damage it gets is kind of substantial. Like if you get someone in the middle of Enigma ult, it does huge damage. If you get a lot of people in the middle of Enigma ult, it's enormous damage. And if you get a lot of people near the middle with a Midnight Pulse, everyone is fucked. But again, just the cooldown reduction is the huge thing. And as this happens, DK is going to look to Rosh, which is fine. I mean, they're ahead. Look at the gold graph. They're ahead, but not by a huge amount. Radiant is still leading in experience, and they have a really level-dependent team as well. But getting Rosh means that Lycan can't, and maybe Lycan's going to try to kill the Aegis. He has to be really quick if he wants to do it. And now he's going to kill the ward. Okay. I would have maybe tried to kill the Aegis because high risk. Oh my gosh, huge fucking burrow strike and big black hole to follow up. Oh, that is a fucking disaster for DK. Oh man. Xbox over here, MV fucking P. Boy, that is disastrous for DK.
Dire's middle tower has fallen. Dire's middle tower is under attack.
And Morphling just goes back. Now, Morphling's F-Blade is going to be... a lot of the time when you see Morphlings get picked, they get these super fast F-Blades. Like, normally like a 20-minute to 25-minute F-Blade is kind of standard. But sometimes you see these Morphlings get like 16-minute F-Blades. And a lot of the games that Burning has played, he's an absolute free farm, so he ends up getting that. Well, by no means is Burning farming super slowly. He's just not farming super quickly either. His farm is incredibly mediocre, to say the least. He's going to get his F-Blade when he has level 3 Adaptive Strike, which has been a thing throughout the entire tournament. When you do this item build, like I said before, when you do this exact item build, you get the F-Blade when you have level 3 Adaptive, which is... I'm surprised that teams just haven't decided, hey, let's just put one less point into Morph. Just because it's been such a thing for so long, but... No, still everyone just doing the same thing, getting the F-Blade when they have level 3 Adaptive.
Radiant's top tower
He might have level 2 Adaptive Strike, in fact, when he ends up putting it. But as this happens, I think that Navi's in a really bad position to try to fight, just because their ults are down. Without the black hole, they can't really defend, I don't think.
Dire's bottom tower
They really need Puck's ult, and they really need, especially Enigma's ult. But are they going to go anyways? A is really trying to big dick himself in the fight. Now, they still have an Aegis up, that was a really good burrow. Puppy's just going to chase around, but he's not going to ult. He's useless without an ult. He can't do anything. And Dendy's just going to try to get away. Oh, is he going to get it? Oh, Dendy, you're so fucking godly. Oh, Dendy! No, you fucked up! You fucked up, Dendy. You fucked up. You get a blink dagger. What the fuck, Dendy? God damn it, Dendy. And Xbox gets picked off. And man, that sucked too, because he used his phase shift, and then his blink, like your phase shift makes you immune to harm for 3.25 seconds, and your blink dagger is put on cooldown if you take damage in 3 seconds, so you should always be able to blink dagger after phase shifting. I'm going to go ahead and assume they didn't have mana, but at the same time he had a wand, so I guess only could he maybe survive the auto attack, maybe could have saved the gem. Losing that gem is, like, it's really bad too for Navi. They run down a Pugna Illusion successfully using Edict. Now, Lestrak has max lightning, but he has no points in his Pulse Nova. He faces level 3, then leveled to 4. That is a possibility since he definitely leveled up during the fight. But who knows? I'm gonna go ahead and say that Dendy is so OPA that there's no way he could have fucked up. Probably lag. Or what you said. Could be either one. Definitely not Dendy making a mistake. This is Dendy, guys. Dendy doesn't make mistakes. Once BKBs start to come out, though, things are going to get kind of weird. That said, Enigma's scale is relatively well against BKBs, but the rest of the team, not so much. Burning is now building towards his BKB, though. Good decision. Nature's Prophet has all of his quota intact. It looks like he's going to be going for a sheep. No BKB here, but she has the presence of mind to pick up a cloak anyways. Just to be able to keep her up a little bit. And Zippo is going to never get a Blink Dagger, it would seem. It's all nice. Gold graph is still really even, as is experience, so this game is still anyone's game. But as the game goes on longer and longer, Navi will find themselves in a more and more uncomfortable position. Also, Puppy's farm seems to be absolute dog shit. And yeah, it's not so much his farm is dog shit, just more the fact that everyone on his team has farm. That said, Nature's Prophet and Morphling are farming up the storm, where his teammates are mostly, you know, not super farmed. Puppy needs to get some towers here. Still 2 tier 1 towers up. His whole team is standing behind him, so this is a bit of a bait. But he's gonna get the tower anyways, I think. And uh-oh, he's decrapped a tree. And suddenly, all of Navi.
Dire's bottom tower
and they get
has
the deny.
been denied.
They smoke up. Looks like they have the Zippo gem. Zippo been buying a lot of gems lately. Even buys it on the Earthshaker when he would have been 1,000 gold away from his Blink Dagger. A sad existence indeed. Burning about 1,400 off of his BKB. When they get that, they're going to be in good shape. Faking Raven in chat talking about how his butthole hurts because he had a mole removed. Or something to that effect. And uh-oh, Puppy. Oh, it does latch. Oh boy, Puppy, you are fucked. Oh man, just getting the fucking beat down. No, Puppy, you're getting away? No, of course not, you're dead.
He's no more. You were just taking up space.
Wow. Suddenly, Morphling lost a lot of HP. Killing the Necro, I would assume. I believe I heard a gem move, but I could be wrong. Where's Lycan's BKB? Lycan is opting to go for the Necrobook, which I think is a lot better than just going for the straight BKB. Especially in a game like this, where his lineup is what it is. He needs the damage output, they need the right click, etc. Getting a Necrobook on Lycan is fairly standard, there's nothing weird about it. And Morphling, like 350 gold away from his BKB. Once they get that, and he has an F-Blade, things are going to be looking bad right for Navi. He's going to look for a kill. And doesn't get the kill, but beats Puppy a little bit before having to go after the well. And going to bottom lane, just going to finish farming up his BKB. And now he has his BKB. May go back to the pool, may not. Probably will just get arcaned by his team. And there we go. Looks like they're trying to delay on Rosh a little bit. Rosh should be up really soon. It's about a minute until Rosh comes up, at which point DK will probably look to grab it and then try to push. That said, it seems as though Navi will be contesting them on Rosh. I see no reason for them to let the Rosh slip by, especially since the Rosh is one of the best places to fight with this team comp. That said, Light of Heaven is just 300 gold away from his Blink Dagger. Once you get your Blink Dagger BKB mech, you're pretty much in good shape. Earthshaker doomed to never have a Blink Dagger of his own. Big smoke gank from DK though. Puppy spots it, he drops his ult. Oh no, he runs back in, but then he comes back out. Is he baiting? Oh man, his shit just got erased. Uh-oh, puppy. This just got really awkward. Denny silencing nothing to Oppa to handle. This is an awful fight for Navi suddenly. Oh, this fight changes everything, Denny. They just got Rosh. They dropped a hole for an Earthshaker. They black holed for a fucking Earthshaker. And that's 190 seconds where Navi just can't take a fight. The next 3 minutes, too. They're in a really bad position all of a sudden. They're suddenly ahead in gold. Despite being ahead in experience, though, Navi is not in a good spot.
Roshan has fallen to the dark.
Springs eternal.
And now with their core items, this Prophet has to be farming out of control now. Just looking at the individual gold. Yeah, Prophet farming up with 500 GPM. Morphling not far behind. Morphling with more experience than gold per minute. Prophet the other way around. That's what happens when you use your ultimate, which you don't get experience for when they kill creeps. They're far away. Out of experience range. And huge, huge, huge ultimate from Habas. And a pretty damn good combo. They pick off the Aegis immediately, but this fight doesn't actually look that great for Navi. Especially not with that Echo Slam all over Habas. They killed the Aegis, but that cost them a lot of spells. That said, Denny didn't use his ultimate. The puppy is so weak right now. Ooh. Ow. And here comes Dandy! What a fucking amazing combo! That was about all that Dandy could have hoped for there in terms of a combo, and he's still unable to defend. This game looks like it's going to be going to DK. I can't see a way for Navi to really win with that at this point. I mean, Dandy got the best combo he could have hoped for, and it just wasn't enough.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Dandy looking for an angle.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
Hopefully not looking to get F-bladed here.
Radiant's middle barracks has fallen.
And this game is just looking like it's going to be unwinnable for Navi now. Experience is evened out, but gold is wildly in favor of DK. Again, this is a gold lead that's fairly substantial. Also, it's a real gold lead too. It's not just from a couple of towers. This is just overall. They have a lot more farm, more last hits on all of their heroes. But Navi aren't totally out of it. You're never really out of it when you have an Enigma in this combination of heroes, but Habas is gonna need a BKB before he can get the really, really deadly ults, like where he blinks, Burrow Strikes in and then ults. Just because Pugna really fucks up the ultimates that you can get as a Sand King. You have to kind of settle for mediocre ults. Nature's Prophet now is his BKB. That's a really, really big pickup, especially considering he buys it almost in one piece. And Navi relies very heavily on their stuff. And Manta Style now finished for Burning. That's almost a full Manta as well. This just is looking worse and worse, actually, for Navi. At this point, DK may wait for another Aegis because they're a Chinese team, and Chinese teams are incredibly fucking boring to watch and like to prolong games longer than they need to just for the safety of knowing that they can't lose. But we'll see what they do. I get the feeling DK is just going to kind of pussyfoot around until Rosh comes back up, at which point they'll look to do something. They may not realize the lead that they have because just looking at the levels, it doesn't look as good as you may think. Because right now, to DK it's going to look like their experience lead isn't that big. But the reality is that it isn't. So they're just going to try to take the game really safely. The longer the game goes on, though, at this point the gold per minute is way more important than experience per minute. Everyone has their ultimates, etc. Well, actually, Habast and Light of Heaven don't actually have their level 3 ults, so... And Navi goes for a smoke, and looks like they're going to catch out the Windrunner. Windrunner has nothing to protect herself now. And, oh man, they get Zippo as well? This is a really, really big pickup. Oh, he's going to get this measure out. And that was really, really important. As this happens, it looks like they're losing a bit of their base. None of their very important structures. They haven't taken any damage on their tier 3s. Now they have. As I say that, they take a slight bit of damage. I feel the tower is like moving up and down in the portrait. Holy shit, the towers move up and down normally. I didn't even realize that. What about you, Dire Towers? Nah, you don't move up and down. You don't move up and down. But Radiant Towers do. They're made of magic. Now still, once again, with this lineup, they're not really out of it. And that smoke really helps to curb it back temporarily. But overall, the fact that Dire is just farming faster in general is going to be what defines this game. They're just going to get out-carried as the game goes on. Lycan nearing his BKB. And like I said, DK is just going to continue to just farm out. They're okay with the fact that they're just going to farm more quickly than Navi. They're just going to extend their lead, albeit very slowly, trying to get picked off again. That was a huge pick off. And again, they're just going to buy time and wait for the next Rosh. When the next Rosh comes up, then they'll probably be quite comfortable. They have their pipes. They have their mech. They have all of their core items. But they could still serve to benefit from more right-click. And that is exactly what they do. They get a Maelstrom up on Prophet. Really, really good pickup. Puppey getting closer and closer to his BKB, though. And are you ever getting a Blink Dagger? No, you're never getting a Blink Dagger. You may as well get 2 more bracers, you dumb fucking noob, Zippo. You don't know what you're doing. You're just a player playing at the International for a top-tier team. But 40 minutes in a winning game, I want to hope farm up a Blink Dagger.
With me.
Then again, there's really nowhere for him to farm with a quota profit. Boss getting all the money. He gets money, he gets bitches, he gets everything he wants. He's a boss. He does have his BKB now. That's really, really good. And again, Puppey needs another minute or 2 to farm up his BKB. Sheep now up on Denny. He's had it for a little bit. It's also really, really big. It lets him get really good pickoffs. Also, Sheep 6 are really, really fucking annoying when all of your farm is centered on 2 heroes. That said, these 2 heroes who the farm is centered on both have their BKBs, so they're not very susceptible to just getting killed. But the amount of right-click right now DK has is huge. And when your 2 right-click heroes have thousands of HP, and BKBs, it becomes really weird when you're relying on spells to bring them down. If they don't catch either Morphling or Prophet in the black hole, they may as well just surrender the fight. Thunder God over here, throwing down mad lightning. Warriors of the wood. And we'll see what Morphling decides to go next. Maybe he'll go for something like a Scotty, but he has options. That should either be a Scotty or a Butterfly, but I would assume it would be a Scotty. However, first and foremost, he'll probably have a buyback unless he can get the Aegis, which is going to come back up in maybe 40 seconds or so. But he won't buy anything until he knows whether or not he's going to get that. The last thing they want to do is get team wiped at Rosh and find out that Bernie has no buyout. That would be a disaster. Navi looking for some aggressive picks. Don't know if they're going to find anyone though. Even if they found Prophet, he would just TP away. He has a BKB, so he can't really die. That said, Prophet doesn't know if he's being seen by wolves. I mean, there could have been wolves on him that entire time. That's one of the threats that Lycan poses, is the fact that his wolves are constantly invisible. Very, very annoying to deal with. And as this happens, DK is just doing Roshan. Is Navi really not going to contest this at all? I mean, I realize that DK is doing it fairly quickly, but this is really bad for Navi. Just giving away a Rosh right now. It looks like they're desperate to run towards it, maybe to try to contest it, but they're not able to. That's just awful.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Ooh, almost the wolf comes up to get an eye. Hugna actually picks up the Aegis. This is mildly surprising to me, but I would assume that their reasoning for doing this is just that they don't think that their Morphling or their Prophet are going to die anyways. Also, Morphling has the cheese and can easily use that in combat. And Prophet is just itemed out, which is probably why he doesn't want it. Yeah, he doesn't want to get rid of his Midas just yet. Midas really pays dividends in a 45-minute game. Interestingly enough, Pugna's strength gain obviously very, very low and base strength very low, with his int gain and int really, really high. And also his item decisions have led him to have an enormous mana pool. It's just weird to see this ratio of mana to HP. Does Zippo have a blink? No, but he'll get a blink. He'll get a blink in 200 gold. At this point, he's just going to stop for a minute and probably try to farm that up, except burning on the Morphling. Mega Jew doesn't want to let Earthshaker get anything. Navi sticking relatively close to one another. Looks like Earthshaker picks up his Blink Dagger. Now, he hasn't revealed this to the Radiant yet. They don't know if he has his Blink Dagger. They can probably assume that he's there or that he's close. But they may look to try to keep this a secret for now. One of the worst surprises to have on your birthday is an Earthshaker with a Blink Dagger, just suddenly all over you, robbing you of $1 million. Mjolnir down on Prophet now. So he upgrades his Maelstrom. He still has enough for a buyout. This is pretty much a 6-slot quota Prophet if I've ever seen one. However, this is a competitive level quota Prophet.
Ice Goblin, pull roots and run!
And 600 GPM Prophet. 500 GPM Morphling. Navi looking in really bad shape with the 360 gold per minute Lycan. If I were Navi, I would just ban the Lycan out so often, just because it seems like the Lycan doesn't really fit into Navi's playstyle that much. Well, okay, that's not the best way of putting it, since it seems like it would fit into Navi's playstyle so well. Like, Lycan split push, while Navi just picks team fight heroes that win team fights. And uh-oh, this is a huge pick off right now. This is really, really bad. That's their gem and a Sanking. That's double bad. Does he have a Blink Dagger? Or, I mean, a buyout? No, he doesn't have a buyout. That's quadruple bad. This is really, really bad. They just lost, essentially, 1,300 gold worth of shit there. And if they would have forced a buyout, it would have been like a 2,000 gold gank right there. And DK is just going to try to leverage their advantage. With no Sanking, it's going to be hard to see how they can defend the space. I don't think they can. Puppy crawling back to base.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower has fallen. Radiant's top
Again,
barracks
Earthshaker with
has
the Blink
fallen.
Dagger, not even committing. They
Radiant's
don't need to.
top barracks are
That
under
pickoff
attack.
essentially
Radiant's
just meant
top
to 3
barracks
racks.
has fallen.
Sand King's fuck up, really, really costing them. And you would think that if they're going to dive anyone, it wouldn't be the Sand King who gets caught, considering that he can Sandstorm, he can Burrow Strike. Well, the Sandstorm would have been useless, but the Burrow Strike and the Blink Dagger would have helped him either way, as long as the BKB. And Light of Heaven is about to get turned on. And you won't even get his Black Hole, he's getting mauled by BKB heroes. Marshart's coming in. Puppy's already there. But Denny's ult is really not that useful since there's so many BKBs out. And they're not even going to get anyone. And huge echo all over one Abast. Abast now left alone, afraid, just really scared. And a huge, huge black hole, but sadly, there's just no one there. Denny comes in, actually kills the Quota Prophet. Quota Prophet buys out immediately. And they just call GG. It's over. There's no way that they could win at this point. That and the fact that they're all dead, they could just get thrown. There's nothing they could do to prevent getting thrown. And overall, I don't know, it feels like the Lycan pick just really didn't work for them at all. Like, you'd think that that would be exactly what Navi wants to do, but at the same time I don't feel like Puppy on Lycan is... I don't want to like flame Puppy, but it just doesn't feel that phenomenal. Like, it feels like, I feel like that's almost where the strategy fell apart. Obviously, the Dire was spreading their farm a bit less evenly, mostly focusing on the Prophet and the Morphling, but even at that, I don't know. I don't feel like that should have been as painful as it was. What time is it now? Okay. I suppose I will watch Game 3. I can bring FKR in for the third game.
It was a mid-game strategy. It was a mid-game lineup.
Back in a minute.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, they picked a massive Wombo combo, Enigma, Puck, SK. These are huge ultimates. They can decimate a team like literally instantly just with a good initiation. And then with the Lycanthrope, what you're looking for is you're looking for a lot of quick farm. You're looking for kind of that 4+1 mentality where the Lycanthrope's pushing towers, similar to how a Broodmother rolls. If you focus on the Lycanthrope, the other 4 can initiate on you and destroy you. If you fight the other 4, they're capable of fighting 4v5 with those heroes and Lycanthrope powering down towers. Unfortunately, didn't quite work that way.
Yeah, the Lycan never kicked in, whereas if you look over at the DK side, Morphling, well, he had a massive impact on the game.
Yeah, he did. Morphling just got really fat.
Well, and with DK's lineup, it's obviously worth mentioning, if you didn't see it, they just got stronger as the game went on, and we can actually take a look at how they just took down, I think it was the first Rax, but it was just, or even the second Rax, but I think it was the first.
Yeah, so we get a really solid initiation here from Navi. I mean, Havost hits 2 with an ultimate. They get the Aegis immediately after he uses BKB. So when he pops back up, he doesn't even have BKB up. So Burning is really kind of exposed here. The problem is they have nothing after that. They use the SK ultimate, and that's how they get that. All they're left there with is a black hole, and they really don't have an opportunity to hit that anywhere. Puck can try and get in there, but at this point, Puck's nukes don't really do a whole lot of damage. And I think, yeah, we see a shotgun here, and Puppy going down is really the end of this. They do get the racks. It takes a while for them to actually end the game. This is a really prolonged battle as the Pipe's doing a lot of work from DK here. But I think what really the story is, obviously Burning got really fat, but actually, Ice-Ski and Draskill mentioned this a little bit. Prophet went for a very quick Midas, and that was a risky proposition. By getting that early Midas, you're basically saying, look, our Nitrous Prophet isn't really going to do a whole lot when you decide to team fight us. Luckily for them, they never really got a great team
Alright, I
fight
am back.
Navi, rather, so DK didn't really get punished by that. And
what
obviously,
do you credit that to?
Listening to these guys talk about what happened is always somewhat interesting. Not necessarily the best way. Alright, I'll let you guys decide. 2s if you want me to have FKR in Skype, 3s if not. You guys can ultimately decide yet again.
Black hole now, it's going to be wasted. And where he could have potentially got a 3-man black hole, ended up getting nothing and denied that push.
All right, then. So, Bruno, Statman Bruno, anything that stood out for you? How was Burning's GPM?
James, Burning was on fire.
Ah.
He was really well. We have to remember that he's the best farmer in this tournament and the best killer. He was okay, 938, 500 GPM, decent scoreline, not a bit below his average of 617.
Okay, it's like people
but
don't
he's
want
still
FKR.
awesome. So the most important thing here, do you know what happens when DK picks Nature's Prophet and Morphling at the same time?
They win?
They win games.
5-0.
Oh, really?
5-0.
Combo kill. All right, yeah, interesting to know.
I like this Bruno guy because he's just like that weird foreign guy that no one else at the table really likes. That just throws out kind of irrelevant stats over and over.
Sorry. The winner of this will move on into the semi-finals, guarantee themselves $25,000 here at day one of the International Dota 2 Championships.
It's like Navi just sort of chilling.
We have to get there. So, who do you think is going to take it, and what kind of advice or...
DK, you know, really, really concentrated. Navi's like, fuck it. We can do it, guys.
Playing in Fury, and they've got this no problem.
Well, I think we'll see DK continuing to ban at that Pudge, and it's going to come down to what hero they have burning on and how they lane it. If they can get the right setup, I think they're going to be the ones actually taking Game 3, so I'm going to have to disagree with Nebula.
So, well, do you want to fight?
Yeah, I do want to fight.
All right.
I think, honestly, DK should be a little...
4s if you guys want me to bring Ollie in Skype, 5s if not. We'll call a vote for this. I kind of want to go in Skype with Ollie. Throwing it out there. Alright, looks like pretty much unanimously people want Alia on Skype. I will call Alia.
Alright.
I bet you 1,000.
You guys don't even have that money. So.
Hello, good sir.
Hello,
hello.
What game are we watching right now?
We're going to watch the Game 3 of Navi against DK. It is in the pregame right now.
Okay, so should I just open the Dota client, or are we watching from stream, or what's going on?
Open the Dota client.
Okay, give me a
Watch
sec.
that bitch live.
Alright, so I'm going to basically be a little bit tired for the first game. So I'm just going to throw that out there because I just woke up pretty recently. Just took a shower and
Navi's turn to ban.
gonna I guess. But how are the games so far? Like the 6 hours I was done?
Well, I got Comcasted mildly in the middle of it. You were there for that. Stream came back. I got Comcasted a little bit towards the end, but I didn't kill the stream for it for more than 5 minutes. And overall, it's been pretty good. I'm actually pretty fucking tired. It's been a long time since I have since I've streamed for this long. I guess for 12 hours, but not bad, I guess. And these are pretty standard. DK again just bans out the Pudge. They really don't want to play against Dendy's Pudge. They've done this every single game.
It's a respect ban, man.
Oh, definitely. They don't want to play against... And Navi finally bans out the Prophet once again. They don't want to let them get the Prophet and the Morphling that those other very knowledgeable casters talked about.
Oh. I noticed they said something about the Midas on Furion.
What did they mention about it?
They said something about, you know, when you get the Midas on Furion, you're saying like, hey, my Furion's gonna be really useless for a really long time. But I've talked to some people, and they say Midas on Furion is pretty much a must. Not 100% because of the gold you get from it, but it's like a combination of the gold and experience. And I know I talked to 616 about it, and he ends up playing Furion, even side lane Furion, like where you don't really get that much farm. You end up getting Midas anyway. But I didn't think that was the case. Like I usually go like some utility item, like Urn and Demek or something like that. Try to be fairly useful, even though I don't get that much CS. But 616 says you should get the Midas still anyway, just because you'll get a faster level 11 and a faster level 16, so your ult does more damage in fights.
Yeah, that's a pretty good point as well.
You don't really.
Yeah. Also, like the Furions always get the Midases at an okay time, but it's even when like you see people like Jo get the mech first, which is something that Jo does, where he gets a bunch of branches to build the nest, and then one set of tankers with 5 branches, and he gets like a 9-minute mech. He even still gets the Midas then, even if it's a late Midas. So.
Which caster are you gonna follow, or are you gonna do free camera?
I'll probably just end up doing free camera.
Okay.
It looks like Lycan is still up in the pool. They leave the Lycan in again. They also leave Naga. They leave Naga and Lycan. This looks like something that is just not going to be that great for Navi. I don't even think that they do a phenomenal Lycan, honestly.
Navi's turn to pick.
Last game was really, really bad for them when they had the Lycan, and they're gonna go for the Lycan again. And I don't know if it'll work this time, but they let DK get Naga Siren, and they've traded Naga Siren for Lycan. I don't know. If only we had Bruno to give us some stats right now.
Do you think?
10 seconds remaining.
Wait, they banned Pudge the whole time, right?
Yeah,
So
they banned Pudge
they didn't-
consistently throughout every single game.
Okay. So this is the third. This is the last. This is the last one. Okay.
Yeah, this is the last game.
What other series were there today? I know I saw the LGD one today against Orange, and then I saw the first game of Complexity.
Yeah, there
And
was.
judging from the Skype comments, Complexity lost. I'm assuming.
Yeah, Complexity lost 1-2. IX owes me $5. I believe he may have
Oh
paid that.
man, that was the team I was rooting for, man.
Hey man, EG again. They lost as well. EG lost against IG.
Score?
I think it was 1-2.
1-2.
Both American teams have dropped down to the losers bracket. The worst part too is that if Navi drops down, it's going to be like in MLGs when it's going to be like in MLGs when what's it called? You know, like when all of the American players, it's just Koreans.
And Western players, yeah.
And like the interest drops really significantly. All of the favorites are going to get eliminated potentially if Navi fails here. If Navi wins, then we'll have our heroes in the winners bracket. If they fail, then we're going to be left with just Asian teams. Chinese dominance.
The only team I care about is Complexity, so hoping they'll make it pretty far. But lose this bracket already. I mean, not feeling it, man.
DK's turn.
Oh, Dazzle Naga.
Yeah, now
seen Dazzle.
someone in chat brings up Dazzle Naga or Dazzle shit pick. Not really. Dazzle's actually a really solid pick because the synergy with Naga is huge. One, if Naga ults, you can drop your ult as Dazzle and it'll continue to tick. And then more importantly almost, is just the fact that your heal bomb on Naga with illusions is huge. The snare, it's not actually that bad. It's a really good synergy. Obviously the Enigma Naga is fairly scary as well.
Yeah, that thing can do like 840 physical damage or some shit like that.
So, yeah, it's ridiculous the amount of damage it is. Now they actually ban out Morphling as well on Navi. I'm actually somewhat surprised. I don't know if teams really draft Naga and Morphling together. Would you say that's too many water type heroes or?
Well, if they did pick Morphling, it would definitely be a mid Morphling, I think. Judging from their lineup, we'd probably see Enigma jungle. I mean, I suppose Enigma could long lane, but I'm feeling they're gonna be safe lane the Dazzle Naga and the Enigma. And if they get an advantage in that lane, they're gonna be able to take that tier 1 tower fairly easily. That's how I feel. I don't know what the rest of DK style is. Like, oh yeah, go ahead.
They still have Enchantress up. We'll see if one of the teams ends up picking that as well.
Venomancer.
The Venomancer.
Venomancer. That's interesting.
Turn to pick.
Are DK known for doing like a solo Dazzle or solo Venomancer?
Not really. They almost always just do a support Venomancer.
Okay.
And they pick up the Beastmaster from. I don't know, man. This is looking. I really like DK's team lineup so far. I feel like in the past couple of games, Navi has had honestly, just in general, just a better draft, I guess. The first game that Navi won, they won because DK fucked up colossally. It was a tri-lane against a tri-lane where Navi ended up getting first blooded, but they got 2 kills out of it, and then immediately followed with more and more kills. So that game was kind of thrown. DK picked up a Luna. It didn't really work out as well as the Luna picks have been so far, in which Luna has done fairly well. But it'll be interesting to see. I think that DK in these last couple of games has just played a little bit better.
How do you feel about the Lucky Star burning icon?
Burning true weeaboo, despite being Chinese. I guess that makes it acceptable.
Oh god.
However, he is Chinese, which is, as we've discussed earlier, the purest of all Asian races. So,
really now? Is that true?
So he is part of Best Asia.
Part of Best Asia? Should I advertise on my stream? Chinese player, Chinese Dota player.
Chinese Dota player.
No.
Now they don't they don't even need to use the pure Chinese to beat the lesser teams. Complexity didn't actually face a Chinese team, and they still got fucked. And they pick up a Brewmaster.
Turn to pick.
Pretty interesting pick. Pretty good as well. Navi, obviously, I think every single Brewmaster game I've seen Navi play against, they lose.
Anti-mage.
And an anti-mage for Navi, interesting.
Anti-mage pickers. No, this will be interesting to see.
It will.
How, like, Naga kind of really shits on Anti-mage and Lycan, as like a hero, like one-on-one, equal farm. But we'll see how two of these really like big carries. Sorry, brain dead. Pair up against Naga. They have the potential to set up a really sick combo. You know, Naga Siren